or kayfabe, at least a kayfabe standpoint, the last
Mhm.
time we see Brandy Rhodes on TV, she tries to defend herself after being called a slut and being made fun of for having breast implants by a middle-aged white man. The crowd tells her to shut the fuck up. Paige Van Zant says, "I'm gonna kick your ass," and then we never see Brandy again. Just from a kayfabe standpoint, that's kind of funny and horrible. Like, what a horrible highlight of like, oh, here's what was the last thing Brandy did? Oh, this, where the whole crowd told her to shut the fuck up for standing up for herself. Uh, so in that regard, it probably would have been nice to see some sort of alternate resolution, but I don't know if I needed a
Yeah.
Paige Van Zant match per se. But we won't get that classic Hall of Fame style match we were going to get out of Paige Van Zant versus Brandy Rhodes. And then just from an irony perspective, all that Brandy Rhodes has been saying in Rhodes to the Top and in interviews is she wants to get the championship but earn it, not be given it. And everyone was always saying, I don't know how you're going to earn it in a division that has Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb, and the like. Like, so wherever she goes, I don't know. But yeah, with at least Brandy being gone, Cody being gone, it does bring up the question: what's going to happen to a lot of the projects that they had, especially in talent, the talent that they brought in? You know, I think you could easily walk away from QT Marshall, but at the same time, he's such a big part in the back. I don't know if he'd be negatively affected by that at all. I don't know, Amanda. What do you think?
I know it brings up questions like, Dustin. I mean, yeah, he says he's gonna stick around, but really? I mean, that just seems kind of off. And then you see
You know who
all
I
of the
think he would though? He had a fucking 40-year career in WWE. And he left WWE on his terms. And now he's doing
yeah.
cool, fun shit. He's running the RWA over there, doing a lot of training and working with the young
Mhm.
talent. He's more enriched and with what he's doing right now than he was in WWE. I could see him
Yeah.
staying just for that alone.
Yeah.
Cody didn't get all that. He didn't leave on his terms.
No. No. And then I wonder, like with the Nightmare Factory itself and all those kids. I mean, is it something with Cody and them parting ways? Is it negative in the sense that there might be backlash against some of these kids, like Lee Johnson, like Aaron Solo, Nick Camarado? Which what happened to Nick Camarado? I haven't seen him lately.
Anthony Go too.
Well, he was injured and he came back.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, but he's still training though. So I don't know, but he had come back recently and there was some backlash, but whatever. But yeah, so like, I don't understand like what happens to all of these things. And even then too, there's other things that they've brought along. I don't think heels is going to, exist because let's face it, women are catty. I don't like that. They're all not, they're nice to your face, but the minute you turn around, they're going to stab you in the back. That's why I didn't like that concept to begin with, because I know that's how women are. And if you're a woman, like you're wrong, I'm like, no, I'm right, because that's the damn truth, especially in this community, especially. So, but then there's other things too. So I don't know.
Yeah. Sports Beards in the chat says, "Oh shit, Sonic sounds good."
Oh yeah,
Jane will not be seen without Sonic.
Well, no, sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. But it was today. I'm gonna show you. It was half price, chili cheese coney dogs. So
Not bad.
What
do you think about? What do you think about Cody's shows? The Go Big show, I think, would stand by itself as long as the company was happy with it. Like the because I think he was added onto a show that was already existing.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that he'll be booted from the show that already exists? Roads to the Top, can you see any program continuing with that?
Hell no. Because a lot of it's based on his work at AEW.
Yeah, it's all based around his work with AEW, and all the co-stars are AEW talent and stuff. Like, I would love to see it continue and them fucking end up on E or something, and Cody talks about leaving the company and just shits all over it. Just for the pettiness, it would be funny.
Yeah, but you see, the problem is you have too many people. There's a couple people that are on that roster, and that's suicide for them.
Oh, they'd be off of it. They would be off of it for sure.
Yeah, I know, but if that, I'm sure but I know. But I don't know. There's other things like, for example, what happens to.
Remember Wrestling with Shadows with Bret Hart?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine Cody dropping a Wrestling with Shadows type documentary in like a year because of all the cameras following him from Roads to the Top. How much shit they might have caught of the breakdown of it all. That'd be fucking crazy cool to watch.
I don't know if they filmed anything post the baby.
I don't know. I don't understand contracts.
I don't either. This is not a contractual thing. This is more of a, because I think they do it in like one lump sum. Like they take like, oh, we're going to film for like a weekend or whatever,
No, I don't know. That's all contracts to me.
Oh no. I only know that because up in my area, when they had Total Divas up here in Total Bellas, most are Total Bellas.
Yeah.
That's what the production schedule usually was.
Just big chunks. Nice. Mm-hmm. Well, it'd be lucky and it'd be cool if something like that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Klump, what do you think? Do you think Road to the Top goes away? Do you think Cody stays on Go Big Show?
I'd hope so. I don't think Road to the Top stays. I'd like to see Cody stay on Go Big Show because it's he's an asset there. I would say this though. When we were down, Amanda and I were talking. I really am concerned for a loss of the initiatives that they throw. And I know you and I talked about this too, but a lot of the things that Cody and Brandy championed for, neurodiversity, and we joke about how Cody throws a shirt out for every single cause he can, but that's still a pretty, an admirable trait to invest oneself into. They got big hearts, and I hope that doesn't go away.
Yeah, that's true. And the Culture Club stuff, Culture City, I think it's called. I would imagine that partnership would remain just because they fostered the initiation of that. I don't think that would sour, but I guess you just never know.
No, but I think Amanda Huber is taking over that community role. That's true. Just kind of what I've seen with her tweeting.
Do you think? Do you think as a side point, do you think that was starting to get on the nerves of like a Brandy, where they opened up this AEW community thing and it was being run and headed by Amanda Huber, and Brandy's supposed to be doing that with the brand officer thing?
I don't know, because honestly,
I wonder if that felt like a slight.
Well, here's the thing. I think with it, I don't think it was a slight.
I don't think it was intended that way, but I could see it being perceived.
No, but I think that when Brody passed, like WWE, it was just like, oh, rest in peace, bell salute, right? But AEW and everybody there took it so hard, right? Or it appeared that a lot of people took it really hard. But I think that with her, because in a way, they wanted them to stick, they wanted to take care of that family. And so that's kind of their way of doing it. Now, if it was something that, hey, they didn't, in the end of the day, she feels slighted about it. Well, then everyone shouldn't have pressed to try to take care of that family then, that sounds rude. I know.
That's not what I'm saying.
What
I'm saying is I think that they could easily be putting Amanda in a thing there. And I wonder if that was the start of some form of tension where Brandy's like, that's my department. And I wonder if they butted heads more than they figured they would. I don't think it was ever intended as a slight or as a way of removing stuff. But I wonder if there was like a subconscious tension with Brandy being in charge of a lot of that stuff and it going over to Amanda.
I don't know. Because I think that once she had the baby,
a
lot of things that she was doing in her brand officer role or whatever the hell it was, it seemed very, very, there wasn't much interaction or any traction going on. So, I could be wrong, but that's what it appeared to be.
Yeah. She could also have been busy with all that stuff anyways and just needed a relief of some of it. I'm not trying to pin anything on anybody like that. Denise is in the chat and she says AEW is family ? That's always something that's bothered me though. Any company, any corporation that tries to feed all of the employees that they are a family is trying to take advantage of people. There is no company in the world that's actually family. And
no, Olive Garden, Even though
No,
Olive
no.
Garden's slogan is "When you're here, your family."
Yeah, for
Damn,
the
it is
customers,
really-
not the employees.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
When
only
you're here, your
reason-
family. These are indentured servants, but your family.
Yes. There's no company in the world that benefits, that the employees benefit for thinking they're family. The company will benefit by trying to push the family ideology on the employees because they can push the employees to do more outside of the realms and without compensation because, hey, we're family. So step outside of your responsibilities and do other things. So I've never liked the family thing, and I've always felt a little uneasy about how much they try to push that as a thing. Grim Reapers in the chat says, hi. And Lunisa says, like, I get that they are close, but the employees should say their family, not the employer stating it outright. That's true, too. Otherwise, it feels
Yeah, Lunisa.
disingenuous. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And when, like, the company's trying to say, we're family, and then the employees start to believe it, and they say, oh, yeah, we're family. I mean, that's how brainwashing starts, I think. But yeah, no, I mean, it's all speculation, and I'm not trying to say that there's any bad blood in any of that, but I can understand where somebody has a responsibility, somebody else takes over a part of that responsibility, and then they feel undermined or undervalued, not even at that person, but at the new position existing at all. You know what I mean? Like, it could have been one of the first steps in a number of steps that led to Brandy and Cody feeling like they didn't matter like they thought they should matter, which could have ended in a lot of this stuff. I do wonder about the people that Cody brought in and Brandy brought in, and how many of them were being put on stuff at all just because Cody kept booking them to be there, and how many will be pushed on the wayside or not re-signed or any of that. I think all that's going to be worth watching and paying attention to. But I don't know.
well,
And-
your
go ahead.
you're one of your women's champions. They brought in Jade Cargill.
Yeah, that was one of his, right?
Yeah, one of his.
I think people like Jade and Darby will be fine.
Yeah.
I think the people you got to worry about are like the Rickies and the Hobbs and the guys who are on YouTube more than they're on TV.
Oh, Hobbs will be fine. He's
Maybe.
beloved, but no, everybody loves him. Mark Henry, Big Show, all these guys, JR, they love this guy. Like, it's very, when you see people talk about him, you can tell when someone's kind of bullshitting. It's very genuine.
And in fairness, Will Hobbs fell in line.
Yeah, and his push though, too, because he's been getting a push very, very subtly.
Yeah, because he fell in line. When Swole said all that stuff, a bunch of people were told to post, and he was one of the ones who posted about how beneficial and how good it was and how good he's treated and how he's not slighted at all. And then after that, he got his push. So he fell in line. He bent the knee, as they say in Game of Thrones. So he could be fine in that regard. But I'm saying, like, the people you'd have to be careful for is just the people who were only getting on TV time from Cody to begin with, you know?
Yeah, Ricky's screwed.
Ricky might be screwed.
He went Team Cody. Okay.
Yeah.
He went Team Cody. And unfortunately, when you really take a stand, and this is a lesson that he needs to learn and a lot of people need to learn, is when you take a certain stand and you stand behind somebody, you really have to think about why you're standing behind somebody and what the consequences could be. And I don't think he thought about the consequences.
Yeah. Well, a lot of ego and stuff. So I don't know. I like I said, I'm really curious to see what comes out about it later. But as of right now, it's a big hit to the company to have a founder leave. Even though they're all being positive. Also, how petty was Tony Khan's and weird his little message about it, where he had to list like all of his own personal responsibilities individually. Like, it felt like really digging his heels in. Like, see, I do everything. I'm AEW. I was like, this feels like a lot of ego in this.
17-time Employee of the Month, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, dick energy, and I mean, honestly, little man.
Yeah. It's
weird. The bowling flex. But I think it comes off as a douche canoe And it only proves to me what I thought originally, the original vibe that I got when I first saw Tony Khan in person.
Yeah.
That he's just a piece of shit.
Well, he's not exactly like helping himself not look like that right now.
That's true. Yeah, he needs to stay off.
It doesn't matter. He has money. I mean, he has his dad's money. Excuse me.
Yeah. It's just weird. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. And like you said, Cody was the one who seemed like the most strong-minded there to say, like, no, we shouldn't do it this way or we should do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Bucks and Kenny, I feel like they're very much, whatever you say, boss, whatever you want to do, boss. Like, I don't feel like they would push back the way that Cody would. So it does make me wonder what it's going to look like in a while. You know what I mean? In the next couple of years, what is AEW even going to look like? Let's hit the chat a little bit. Huh?
I don't think they'll last that long. Couple of years? Oh, I don't know.
Well, I think they had that 5-year contract extension. But then again, TNT can always pull it. So
exactly.
Let's see. In the chat real quick, Spinner Fox coming through saying he was happy to see Bailey on G4 TV. That was a really fun show, too. Her and Xavier Woods having fun, talking video games. That was a great time. Lena says, you know nothing, Wrestler Snow. Yep, bent the knee. Let's see. Spinner Fox says, AEW, I'm staying with the ship even though it's sinking. 2025 will be the end of AEW. Back to only watching Indie and NJPW. I still have options. Yeah, dude, you got GCW. They're doing all sorts of killer shit. You got X-Pac about to get back in the ring over there. NWA has Matt Cardona as a champion now. You got some neat stuff. There's definitely no shortage of cool stuff. MLW. What was that?
I said the Briscoes are still, apparently, if they're still champs, ROH tag champs are still going to be there. Same with Jonathan Gresham. Apparently, they changed the logo. That was news I found out today, so we'll see what happens. Apparently, Ian Riccaboni right now is in LA, and they're doing stuff in regards to Ring of Honor. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what's happening with that.
Yeah. Any other thoughts you guys had on Cody Klump? Because I know you guys were talking for a bit when I was off, and if you guys wanted to swing the conversation wherever it was going, you can do that.
I'm good.
Yeah. We're good. Just, Cody, it'll be exciting to see what's going to happen next.
I think no matter what he chooses next, it's going to be a very interesting move.
It's going to be a very interesting move. There's going to be a lot of shade that's going to come from the AEW side. And it's just going to be very, very interesting to see. And I guess the one thing now, just as I don't know if this is really newsworthy, but FYI, Cody's Pro Wrestling Tees shop or his AEW shop is still up there. So if you did like Cody at AEW, you better hurry up and go get some of that. Because I don't think that shit's going to last up there. So
I bought the only 2 Cody shirts I wanted. As soon as they came out, I got them. I got it's the ones, the Brotherhood, where it's the logo that has the Dustin Rhodes paint on it, which was really cool. And the other one I got, because it was on like a super sale at Hot Topic for like $4. It was the Cody 2020, like it would look like an election shirt, and he's like standing on top of a car. Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah, I only had the original American Nightmare shirt, the Bullet Club.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
The only one I had. Yeah, the only one I got. So, but
I'm interested to see what he does. I mean, personally, because I'm a WWE guy, I want Triple H to come out and address the fans and say that we haven't seen him in a long time. We haven't heard from him. There's clearly been a lot of changes. He's had health issues, and he didn't want to leave without saying goodbye. And he says that there's nothing left for him to do anyways. He doesn't have to prove himself. He's got no scores to settle left in the wrestling world. And then, boom, Cody Rhodes comes out and goes, I feel like you got one. I feel like you got one. And then you have Cody and come out. Now, whether or not Triple H is good enough to wrestle it or not with his health, you could easily, either if Triple H is good to go, do a cool Cody Triple H story, or B, someone could stand in for Triple H, and there's no shortage of people who's aligned with Triple H that wouldn't be amazing. You got Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. You could even have Austin Theory.
I think
Randy would be great because you also then have the built-in story of Randy and Cody having been tag teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the whole what was it, Legacy? Back to when I watched Legacy.
Yep.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Had to come back just to be, I'm neutral. I'm in the middle. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Could be cool. I think there's a lot of fun you can have with it.
Mhm.
And I feel like that he's been working a Triple H angle for a long time. Some Fox says leave Triple H alone. He needs to take it easy. I'm not saying he's got to be in a match, man. I'm saying
No.
he just cuts the promo that leads up to a match that he can that Cody can have with other things. Spin Fox says I heard that there were lawyers involved. I bet Brandy was trying to stay with AEW, but Tony voided. I bet. I don't know. I don't know what lawyers do. I don't talk to lawyers.
I know what some lawyers do, but but I don't think Brandy would stay without her man. No.
Stand by your man.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Spin Fox says so many Stardust rips are coming, and he tail tucked between his legs and eat all the crow, but he didn't. He was right. He proved himself right. Like he absolutely left the company saying, "I'm a bigger value than this," and they said, "We don't think you are," and he went out and became such a big value that a dude was able to launch an entire company based off of him. How many times have you guys even tried to explain AEW to someone, and the first thing you said was, Dusty Rhodes? He's got a son who's doing his own promotion now?
Mm-hmm.
That's been the number one selling point for AEW to anybody I know who doesn't know what AEW is. Oh, Dusty Rhodes' boy's doing a thing? He proved he has a value that's much higher than he left. Like, he absolutely bet on himself and won. There's no reason why he would have to feel like he's eating crow. He was right. He was right. Vince has to say, "Oh, goddamn, pal."
Yeah. Look what you did.
Yeah, look what you did. Look what you did. Mr. Tiny Corndog in the chat says, "Oh yeah, and holler if you hear me," with little Scott Steiners. Cheers for
Tiny
Mr.
Corndog.
Mr. Tiny Corndog coming through. It's probably Tony Khan when I think about it.
Oh. Got to ruin Tiny Corn Dogs for me then, huh?
Yeah. Spin Fox does say, I give Cody respect, but even in the Young Bucks book, he was flopping about going with them. That's the Young Bucks version of it. I don't know, but even so.
Well, you can tell because it's like you don't know how serious these guys are, because you got to also remember too, the relationship that he had with the Young Bucks is not as old as, like, let's say the Young Bucks and Kenny, the Young Bucks and, let's say, like a Colt Cabana, things like that. Or that's even true. To that point, like with Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, Yeah. So Cody was the outsider that came into it.
And even then, how much does he have to believe in a guy like Tony Khan? How many times have big money ended up in wrestling to do something just for the sake of doing it because you could afford it? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of reasons why a hesitant Cody Rhodes isn't a bad story. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's funny. Spinner Fox goes, if that is Tony Khan, then bitch, you need to have more women's matches. That Thunder Rosa Martinez match was fire. Mm-hmm. So we can move it along. I think that whatever Cody does next is going to be a fascinating move. I do think that if he doesn't go back to WWE, then he hasn't full circle proved his point. I kind of feel like he's got to go to WWE and show up in a main event to prove that he was right and to really put the nail in on that story and have the overall encompassing of his thing.
Do you think it'll be WrestleMania?
No.
No? Why not?
I don't think he's going to show up at WrestleMania unannounced. I think he's either going to show up before Mania to get a match on Mania, or he's going to show up right after Mania.
Yeah, the Monday after Mania.
Yeah. The Monday after Mania could be huge. And give him time to get some new Stardust gear. Yeah. Win-win.
Oof. Big oof.
Big oof is right.
Let's see. As we go through some of this stuff, we didn't talk about it last week because last week we had Sam Stackhouse in the chat, or actually on the show. We did a whole introspective. I did my best Conrad breakdown of Sam Stackhouse and his career leading up to GCW and through his GCW run thus far. So we didn't talk a lot about what happened on the week of wrestling, so to speak. But I would say anybody who didn't listen to the Sam Stackhouse interview should go back and do it. It's probably the most proud of any single episode we've ever done. I was really happy with how that turned out, and really cool just to share the time with Stackhouse himself. But with that in mind, what we didn't talk about, what did happen and is worth mentioning, is Tony Khan messing up and flubbing his meaning of Forbidden Door. So he brought in Jay White at the last second because the whole time what he was leading towards was that Keith Lee was about to make his debut. What'd you think of the Keith Lee debut?
I mean, I do have, so again, something Marsh and I talked about. So we heard a few more releases from that time were released due to COVID vaccination issues and not willing to do so.
Yep,
So
it was November 4th. There was a list of people who got released. And of that, we know for a fact at this point that Nia Jax was released for vaccination and not mental health. She lied about that, which is always nice to see when people lie about mental health issues to get the sympathy of the fan base. She's a real-life Joe Gacy. Karrion Kross and Scarlett Bordeaux they came out in an interview and said that it was a vaccine thing. Which then just leads me to at least question if November 4th was their deadline of if you are not vaccinated by November 4th, you do not work here. How many people on this list were released? And I will say, I'll read the list right now, the people who were released on November 4th, and I bet you there's a bit of a mix. I bet you there's a few people who were just thrown in there. But I wouldn't be shocked for a second if it wasn't vaccine related. When you look at the list and the amount of people that people said, how could you let that person go? It doesn't make any sense.
And also sent out...
Go ahead.
Good. I was saying, and also sent out tweets that were along the lines of, "I'll clear up the narrative in time."
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in time. I can't wait to talk about this. I bet. But also, all of these make much more sense once you know, or once it starts to come out that vaccines were a definitive factor here. But the list was Karrion Kross, Keith Lee, Mia Yim, Ember Moon, Davey Boy Smith Jr., Oni Lorcan, Grand Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Eva Marie, Nia Jax, B-Fab, Frankie Monet, Scarlett Bordeaux, Trey Baxter, Jessie Kamea, Jeet Rama, Zeta Ramir, and Katrina Cortez. They were all people let go during that same day, and we already know what.
I'll tell you, Trey Baxter was not a COVID thing, because he would not be working for GCW.
True. GCW had to have full vaccination status to be inside.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I would say that, like I said, I think there's some people sprinkled in there for sure. But I know the rumor at the time was B-Fab was not vaccinated. We know now Scarlett and Karrion Kross were not. Harry Smith, as much as I like the guy as a wrestler, he has said a lot of very right-wing things, which... I know he talked a lot of shit about wearing a mask even was a problem for him. What was that?
Harry is a weirdo. So I wouldn't put it past Harry. Right. Love him to death, but he's a weirdo. So
yeah. And I'm not even trying to diminish anybody's right to believe or be political on any side of the fence. I'm just saying releases that didn't make sense can suddenly make sense when vaccination status becomes a factor. Eva Marie has... said some pretty right-wing stuff, so it wouldn't be a big shock to find that out either. Some of these other ones you can kind of play around with, but I wouldn't be shocked to find out that a lot of these weren't COVID-related. But, Klump, continue. I just wanted to put context to what you were talking about.
Well, I mean, that was my thing. Is I'm curious about people coming in and stuff like that. I thought it was cool Keith Lee came in. Otherwise, I thought he had a decent match. He yeeted the fuck out of... Anthony Bowens?
No,
it was the
Isaiah Kennedy.
Isaiah Kennedy.
Cassidy.
Whatever.
Speaks to booking ability where I'm just like, who was he fight?
Yeah. Who was fight?
Who fight with? Okay, but yeah. I mean, hopefully he's there. I mean, my long-standing complaint with AEW will for a long time be. Cool, this is your monster of the week from AEW or from WWE. This is your featured performer. You know, it's like hosting duty on SNL. Mm-hmm. And then we go back and, the people that support the host are the people actually doing work. Yeah. Isn't that right, Arya? Oh, isn't that right, little buddy?
Interesting takes you have on this. Yeah. Because that's not what I thought at all.
I thought it was cool to see him wrestling again because I like Keith Lee, but I'm also real hesitant right now on anybody who was on that list on do I need to feel bad for somebody who was potentially released because of their personal decision to not get vaccinated? And bottom line to me, I do not feel bad for a single person who's ever lost their job for not complying to vaccination requirements put together by that job. I just don't. That's just me. You can find other jobs that will allow you. The idea that AEW seems to be hiring people who may not be vaccinated after they gave WWE the claim that they were a sloppy shot because one person caught COVID one time. I mean, other people have since then for sure, but they stopped saying it once a bunch of their roster had started getting it. But I'm just one of those things where it's all like, look, I can't feel bad, but I wonder. But at the same time, I like Keith Lee as a wrestler so much, I thought it was cool to see him.
Yeah.
Amanda, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I was not impressed with that at all. Not at all. I'm probably the only person who was like, you know.
The opening move was very cool. That opening Beal was awesome, but that was kind of the highlight.
But you know, like for me, it's like, okay, everyone's waited so long to see Keith Lee. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I know maybe spoiled indie person over here. Okay. I've seen him do some incredible fucking shit. Right. This was very, very lackluster in the sense that, boy, he was winded, you know, and it was kind of like, I don't know, the crowd didn't do it justice because it was like, it was one of the smarky crowds of, you know, like, they were doing the whole bask in his glory because I don't think he was allowed to do that in WWE, right?
He was.
Oh, he was. I didn't know if he was or not. I mean, I know that.
Bask in his glory came from Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, it did. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know.
During one of his tryouts with Dusty Rhodes said, "You have a presence I can bask in," and it said something like, you know, something about basking in his glory, and yeah.
Okay, got it. Now, I also thought that, okay, I've seen him throw rather large people across the ring. Mm-hmm. I've seen him throw Dijak. That was probably one of the best matches I've ever seen Keith Lee do. Was him and Dijak and Bola a couple years ago. And to see him throw Dijak across the ring like he did with little Private Party Boy, it was not impressive. A lot of people were like, oh my God, that was so great. No. Like any big, you know, like a guy who's a big dude, like Powerhouse Hobbs does that a lot. If you give me someone's beefy, you know, throwing across the ring, hey, that would have been more impressive. It, for me, I think would have been better if he went against like Wardlow, or he, you know, debuted against, you know, I mean, because Wardlow, honestly, right now, like, I mean, he needs to settle his shit with whatever MJF and all that bullshit. Yeah. But I think that it would have been exciting to see that kind of big hoss match. But if they are doing, if Revolution is going to go with the Face of the Revolution match the way I think it's probably going to go, it's going to be a hoss battle. You're going to have Wardlow, you're going to have Keith Lee, you'll probably have Hobbs, and I don't know who else is wrestling in this thing to decide. But that's going to be great. I'd love to see all the big guys, you know, because it'll be a battle of the big guys. But I was really underwhelmed, especially because I'm like really getting sick of, you're bringing in these people, you give them a little bit of a platform for a couple of weeks, and then boom, they go bye-bye.
Yeah,
that's the big problem. And I don't think that Keith Lee, no offense, I don't think that, I mean, yes, he's a good wrestler, okay, but I don't think that his persona, it's going to take a little bit to get in there. It's one thing where he sounds very eloquent, but I don't think he's a very good promo guy. It still feels like he's reading off a sheet paper.
And he also he sounds kind of patronizing. It's not just eloquent, it's like snobby.
It's snobby, but in his own way, if you're comparing him to, I don't know, let's say like I'm trying to think of who's really kind of ghetto sounding.
Kingston sounds street as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's use Kingston. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, but that's Eddie. I mean, he's so beloved. reaction he got.
He sounds so New York. His feet are fucking Tim's.
Yep.
Seriously, yes. That's why I love Eddie. There's just so much personality there. You know, who gives a fuck that he landed on sprinklers? Yeah. Well, I do, because it ruined his career. But I mean, nonetheless, you know, Eddie, you know, nothing like Eddie. But I really do think that it just was, he had done a little bit better with it. And I think also the other part of it was, if that really was a forbidden door, I don't know, someone needs to give Tony some English comprehension lessons, not like language, but what words mean. He needs a dictionary, or he needs a thesaurus,
or just someone to work with on his stuff.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
In the chat, real quick, Splinter Fox says, "Man, Miro versus Keith Lee would be awesome, but I think Miro is next to leave. He is 100% and was not even on the show in his own hometown." Yeah, we were talking about him a little bit earlier. The thing that sucks about Miro is it feels like he's getting ready to leave the company, but it doesn't feel like he also raised his stock any.
Wait, his hometown?
Yeah, they were in his hometown this week, and he didn't show up on the show.
Bulgaria?
Nashville.
Nashville. He's been living in Nashville with what's her face, CJ, for years.
Yeah.
Years. They always go to Predators games. You always would see them in the jersey and stuff.
Let's see. Spinner Fox said the only bad in the show was tag match. He goes, we're going to talk about this one in a bit. And he said, Ember Moon versus Thunder Rosa was amazing. Tony Bitch Boy dropped the ball on that. I understand why he don't sign
Ember Moon
talent like Athena. Yeah. Athena Knox, he is a dumbass. Ember Moon and Thunder Rosa had a match at Warrior Wrestling that was fucking killer.
Oh, that one. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good. Not impressed about Keith Lee. When you watch a lot of of the indies, you see it all before they get to WWE, which is also true. The problem with a lot of these guys, especially the way that they wrestle indie style on national TV, is that their matches become very formulaic, because on the indie scene, you do everything you got in every match, because it's kind of like a stand-up set. You know what I mean? You have your tight 10 minutes you do in every city because the crowd changes. You don't. On the indie scene with wrestling, you get all your shit in that regard, and you do the same 10, 15-minute match over and over again because it gets over with every crowd. But once you do it on TV, you got to change it up a little bit. It becomes super formulaic when you don't. So to that regard, I do think that there's a bit of a struggle there. He goes, Wardlow and Lee will be in that ladder match, and if Will Hobbs has a chance to... also says it sucks Paige Van Zandt lost the storyline, wanted to see what she got. Yeah, but the thing is, with Paige Van Zandt, if you want to see what she's got, Brandy Rhodes isn't the one who's going to bring it out of her, so they just need to put her with like a Serena or a Thunder or something. Someone who can actually work with her on stuff. But yeah, so Keith Lee I thought was cool, but it also wasn't the massive deal that Tony was trying to make it out to be. I think the good news is that nobody buys Tony's shit anymore. So when he says massive news, massive debut, huge, everyone goes, all right, well, this is overhyped. So everyone bring your shit down. But again, still cool. I like seeing Keith Lee, and we'll see how it plays. I do want to say this about Keith Lee. A lot of people were saying, for one, look how happy he looks here versus WWE. And they were literally posting a picture of Keith Lee in ring after he lost a match with a face where he looked upset. I was like, yeah, because that's storyline. He was supposed to be upset. And then they showed his entrance at AEW where he looked excited. Well, he did the same entrance he did in WWE, and he always looked excited when he came out there too. But second to that, the amount of people who said in one match Keith Lee looked like a bigger star than ever in WWE, I literally don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Keith Lee on NXT became the first ever North American and NXT champion, beating Adam Cole. He ended Adam Cole's reign. You know what I mean? To take the WWE championship. Fucking in the main roster. Yes, he had weird music. Yes, his gear was kind of weird while they were figuring it out. But he also was out there in matches against Drew McIntyre. He beat Randy Orton. He was in triple threats with Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre. He was working on a main event scene with current champion and champion contenders. He had a great match with Seth Rollins. He wasn't on main event. He was in Raw's main event. They made him very important every time. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous.
It's probably people who don't watch.
Yeah, 100%. He's a bigger star here than ever there. Well, you didn't watch it there. You wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch, and I mean, I can't, and I would never say that. No.
Yeah.
He was a big star when he was, you know, like he was doing Bola. Like,
Yeah.
he was a big star when he did his, you know, when he did his last match at PWG, and I believe it was Bask in His Glory was the name of the show.
Mm.
Usually they have different, you know, names. Like Adam Cole's was Head Like A Cole. Yeah, usually mostly it's songs, but I don't know, whatever. But point of it is, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yes. Yes.
I'm not impressed. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't the most impressive thing of all time, but it was fun and it was cool, and I'm happy to see him wrestling. Spinner Fox does say, I'm excited for Switchblade. Impact did him dirty. Speaking of Impact, they did Josh Alexander dirty, and how they pay their talent is bullshit. I can't believe people still defend them. Yeah, the whole Josh Alexander thing was weird. As we're moving on anyways. He suddenly just wasn't under contract and lost his visa, and now he's leaving, and it's like, that all felt really abrupt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was really
That's
weird.
very interesting with Scott Demore. Like,
yeah.
Canadians, and, you know.
Yeah. The only reason I'm not excited for Switchblade is because Tony admitted that he didn't have any plans for Switchblade at all. Called him on a Sunday to see if he could fly him out for Dynamite because he had messed up and said there was a Forbidden Door thing and he had no Forbidden Door thing. So I'm not excited for Switchblade because it's just an accidental thing. So they're just throwing him in a match with a buddy of his. He had a fucking weird 10 segment in the back for the sake of it. I'm only not excited because they clearly don't know what the fuck they're doing with him. And they have him there on accident. So he's capable of so much more important stuff than accidentally being put in there and having a match with Trent Beretta on fucking Rampage. You know what I mean?
Incidentals.
Yes.
To be fair, of the best friends, that whole group, Trent Beretta is the best of them all. So let's just be fair.
Yeah, but still.
No, I know. It's shitty. But I also think that with Jay White, though, here's my thing. A lot of people are now speculating that Jay White's leaving New Japan. I don't think so. They do not, with a Gaijin, okay, who went through the Japanese Young Lion system, because that's what Jay White did. Okay, he had his excursion was Ring of Honor. Okay, and then he came back and became the Switchblade. They do not spend and invest that much time, especially in a Gaijin, to let him, you know, piss off like that, unless he did something or said something that they just was uncalled for.
Yeah, he's only here to get a quick paycheck.
Yeah, he's there to get a paycheck. So all these people who were thinking that it's their long term, no. Yeah. Nope. If they wanted something long term, one good way would have been it's to bring Gorillas of Destiny and have them with the Bucks. They, face the Bucks and run through that whole tag team division. That would be better Forbidden Door. And they're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know?
Klump?
Hello?
Klump, what are you thinking?
The one that always gets to me is like, I think Girls of Destiny in Impact's good, but that's the one I truly wish hit WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the one that I think, like when we talk about opening doors and stuff like that, WWE with NJPW for Okada, for Tanahashi, but the Gorillas of Destiny would be amazing, and I'd love.
Yeah, 100%. Trent Fox says, "Oh man, he's taking on Trent and mentioned Omega. Their matches in NJPW were fire. Trent is a badass. You have to watch NJPW to know about Trent." Which also is, like, I hear you, but fuck that. The problem is like you have Jay White here for no fucking reason to have a sudden match against Trent, who has not been portrayed as much of anything in AEW. You shouldn't have to say, "Hey, this is going to be incredible," because of a bunch of shit that happened outside of this company. It's just not going to excite me about it. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not excited about it because of the presentation we're getting of it on AEW. Not that they couldn't have an incredible match. The way these people have been thrown together and presented doesn't make me excited for the match. It doesn't mean they can't overcome that and just have a great match that I love. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Just right now,
Yeah, just right now. Okay, I guess that's what they're doing. And then Osprey would be the one to leave first instead of Jay White. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he hasn't left yet.
Oh no,
he
he's
goes,
his own faction right now. He's fine. Nobody wants him.
"No, he
Nobody
can do what
wants
he's
him.
doing."
Nobody wants
He
him.
goes-
That's why he hasn't left. Nobody wants him because why? He's a piece of shit. That's why
That's-
That's why he hasn't left.
That could be. Jay is the future. Once this stupid pandemic is over, it'll still be his era.
Yeah.
Could be. Could very well be.
Yeah, Jay White. One thing that I think that people think that I don't know. A lot of people are like, Jay White was so bland before he came back to New Japan, and I think a lot of people remember all of that. And it was his excursion was but Jay White, I will say, in my opinion, because I'd seen him quite a few times with Ring of Honor, and then once on the Indies itself. And I will say that Jay White, pretty damn impressive.
I've always been sour on Jay White because he cracked JR's rib. And then Josh Barnett came around the corner to be like, fuck you, dude. And he tried to like big league Josh Barnett, who wasn't having it. And then he ran away super scared. And I was like, man, I wish you would have just manned up and said, fine, just fucking do it. Yeah. But I've been sour on Jay White ever since. The matches I've seen have been great. But I've also been like, I don't know, he might be kind of a douchebag.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, he's a Kiwi, so who knows? I mean,
fuck you.
I like how Splinter Fox decided to say that my response to AEW's presentation of Jay White and Trent is based on the fact that I watched WWE. I wasn't talking about WWE at all. They present Trent the way they present him. They presented Switchblade the way they presented him, and that's why I'm not excited about it. But I'm okay with it happening. Because nothing to do with WWE.
Splinter Fox, here's the thing, though. People do not appreciate Trent Beretta.
That's true.
And even sometimes with NJPW, they didn't. Like, for whatever reason. Even in Reseda, back in the day at PWG, all those people, no respect for fucking Trent, because it was always about Chuck. But anybody who knew anything knew, and you had to admit, that Trent was the superior wrestler.
I remember said it from the first time I saw the Best Friends. I was like, why are they a tag team? Trent needs to be on his own. Split him up.
Exactly. And the thing with Trent, though, and this is where WWE failed him too, is that he had so much potential. He's a little strange, but aren't we all? But I think that the real magic came because of New Japan and Rocky Romero. That's when you really got to see him come out of his weird shell. So I want more Roppongi Vice. I don't know about anybody else. But again, Tony Khan's not going to know what to do with it. So, because I will say this, like the Young Bucks match, because we didn't talk about it. Okay, big fangirl. I fangirled the whole thing. I was like, because there's this chemistry that they all have. All four of them. It's not because, we wrestled a billion times before. It's just, that's how it always was. Yeah. There's always some great chemistry. And especially if you get the Bucks to get someone they have great chemistry with, it's always going to work. Always. You can argue and at me about that, but it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why FTR works well too with them.
Yeah. 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 I think Trent needs to break away from the Best Friends. He sticks out like a sore thumb.
Well, they're kind of, we're teasing it a little bit. Because the way he's you brought this guy in, talking about Wheeler Yuta, what the fuck, that kind of thing. So there's this little bit of animosity, and yes, there was a little bit of that. I believe it was on, on BTE, but still, that's the thing is, it's like he doesn't need to be there. Okay, he can be his own star, and it's fine.
I do think it's a little bit weird to have a tag team that started off as the Best Friends branch out into being a faction called the Best Friends. It kind of undoes itself by nature, right?
Kind of, but also, you have to also think of where was Orange Cassidy going to go?
Mm-hmm. I don't care.
You had to find a home for Orange Cassidy this was before he got really big.
Yeah, but so now the Best Friends is Trent, Chuck, Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander, Wheeler Yuta, and Danhausen.
Yeah, Danhausen doesn't belong there either. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, still don't understand him. Don't get it.
Danhausen and Orange Cassidy would be an interesting tag team just themselves.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that because that could just be like the, you know, that could just be a weird group, and that's fine. That works together. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Or is that
Weird.
too comedic?
Most of the show's comedic. Spin Fox does say, I want him to beat the shit out of Danhausen because it'll get a major heat. Talking about Trent. I could see
Yep.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I could also see people just being confused.
People already are.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Let's see. What else happened on AEW or Newswise that we're missing?
Well, I just wanted to say, because we did not talk about it, Ricky Starks Lethal, that was a really good match.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
on Rampage,
I mean,
right?
Yep, on Rampage 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 Fridays ago or whatever. I don't know. I don't know about time anymore. But
Time is a construct.
Yeah.
I will
then
say
Ricky
this.
Starks got the clean win over Jay Lethal, yeah?
Yeah, he did.
Isn't that kind of weird for Jay Lethal?
That ending move was beautiful. Lethal injection into that Rochambeau.
Yeah.
Both of them were very lucky that no one got injured during that spot, but it was beautiful. I mean, because he gifts it. There's a lot of it on Twitter and stuff that you can see. Yeah. I was very impressed with it. It doesn't mean anything because it's a belt that nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
And again, Jay Lethal comes in, big brouhaha.
Yeah.
What's going on with
Jay? Signing. Former ROH champion, held down ROH for a long time, and now he's come in and is only getting losses on TV. Which is kind of weird, you know?
He's not even really on internet TV either. So, don't know about that one.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm so confused by it. That's why, I mean, at this point, when they announce debuts, I just go, okay.
So, my question now remains, will he go back to Ring of Honor?
He signed a contract. I don't know if he can.
Who knows? And we don't know how long they're for. We don't know about any contracts. We don't know.
That's true.
But I really think that was the golden boy over there, right? And that was Mr. ROH for years, and they let him go before anyone else because he wanted to go, and they let him go. So
wasn't he Mr. TNA before that?
A long time ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying TNA, like he was an anchor on TNA too, like Jay Lethal's. For a long time, Jay Lethal's been talked about as like the guy who no one can figure out why is he not on a bigger platform. So then he finally made it to a bigger platform. He's getting kind of snuffed out.
Well, then they gave him Ring of Honor, right? But this platform is not for him. AEW is not for him. And if he thought that, because I know all these guys, dude, no.
Yeah.
Unless you're like Brandon Cutler or you're having sex with one of the EVPs,
Brandon Cutler.
Yeah.
Yeah. or I don't know, Nakazawa, whatever. If you're not one of these people, that's really,
I would.
No.
I would love if times changed enough that was kind of like it was a same-sex thing happening. Like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I'm okay. This is a cool way to flip it on. Say, like, if Kota Ibushi comes in and just bursts his way to the top, what she would deserve anyway, but I'd be like, yeah, I can see what's that's cool.
Yeah, I know what's happening.
I love Kota Ibushi. That's a big forbidden door. And I loved how Kenta, I don't know if you guys saw this, but
I mean, Kenny could break into Kenta's forbidden door.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kenta keeps saying, I'm around. Need a forbidden door to be, put someone to sleep over there. I saw that. I was like, whoa. Yeah, see, Tony, you're not paying attention to all these people. Yeah, there's other choices for forbidden doors.
Yeah. Certified says Daniel Bryanson versus Lee Moriarty was fire, but Bryan's still a dick. Never liked the dude. Respect his wrestling, but still fuck him. I thought it was cool. I just don't understand what they're doing with Lee Moriarty. Like, he's just a jobber. He's like a good jobber. And here's
the problem.
I don't understand what's going on, I think, most of the time. As I'm watching, I was like, I don't see the point in it. It's just a bunch of, like, pretty solid matches, but I don't know why to care about any of it.
I'll tell you why.
Huh.
Okay. Lee Moriarty, Daniel Garcia are probably two of the biggest names and most sought after people in the indies right now.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. They're fucking incredible wrestlers all around, technically, whatever, right? Because as we're moving away from the flippy flop generation, this is what we're getting into. I think, in my opinion, that match against Danielson was the best Danielson match he's had since he's been back with AEW. Not back, but with AEW TV. Hands down. If you don't think so, then I don't know what the fuck you're watching.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, these are guys that are going to be big names in the future. And so right now, if you're wrestling some of the best that are there now, just wait till it's their turn and they get to pass the torch. So I think that's why they're doing that.
It's
but
like
at the
a
same
10-year
time,
in the future thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I think that storyline's going to go. But at the same time, though, you have other people, whether it be people who are names and not, that you kind of also need to extend a lot of that courtesy to. Because it would be great if they did that with Dante Martin instead of him floundering with the fucking FTW people.
Yeah.
Okay? If you really think Hook's that great and want to invest, have him in this camp with these people. Okay? Do that kind of shit. I mean, that's where I think the mindset is.
I think the difference is, I think you kind of said it, with Hook, they're trying to build the rise to Hook. So you have him with these jobbers and having winning. So that way guys like me who watch it go, oh, this guy's a badass. He wins a lot. He's on a rise up. Where Lee Moriarty, because like even Spin Fox said, do you think that he was really going to beat Bryan or Punk? And I mean, obviously not. But I don't know why you'd book him against them anyways, because he doesn't feel like or look like or have a record like someone who has a chance anyways. It feels like a shoe-in victory for that person. So why bother? So for Lee, it's almost like have him in that like slow sizzle where it's like he's not on the rise right now. He's just learning foundation stuff from these top stars on how do you do stuff on national TV? How do you work a national crowd? Like, how do you do that? So in a year or two, he can then start getting victories and have all that in his tool belt. Where with Hook, he's on the rise right now. He's just a shooting star. And they're like, he'll learn it as he goes. He'll get there, whatever. Like, that's the difference, I think. So for me, I just thought that Lee was going to be on that same Hook trajectory of hot indie star who's so good he's getting a bunch of victories. But he's not. He's hot indie star who's going to be losing against high-profile names. So when they're ready to go ahead and shoot his star, he's got a bunch of knowledge and experience.
Yeah. And I think also, too, because he is one of the few people that, now I don't know, people keep saying, oh yeah, Tony lets people work wherever they want to work. I don't know if that's true or not necessarily, but he and Daniel Garcia are the two that pretty much work everywhere.
Yeah.
And, I think that he's got to be very, very careful with those two because they could go anywhere.
Yeah. And
be an even bigger star on anyone else's platform.
Yeah.
I mean, they could right now, if Lee Moriarty, I think if he wasn't under contract and WWE got him, I think honestly, they would he's main roster ready. Just don't give him a microphone because, well, actually he's pretty good on the microphone, but he could go and he can hang with the best of them up there. So, I mean, I don't know. But again, it's Tony Khan's weird world. He has 15 million roles, so who knows what's in it for some people. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a mess in a lot of ways, but it's fun in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
I really liked Thunder Rosa and Mercedes Martinez. I didn't get to say it last week because I wanted to. If you notice, the Thunder Rosa Martinez match 1 ended in a disqualification. I believe the first and only disqualification finish that AEW's ever had. And I would like us to take full credit for that. There's no way that Thunder Rosa didn't get that DQ in there just for us because I've been complaining about no DQs for so long. She just wanted to shut me up.
She did. She's like, Marsh. She's like, Marsh, I'm cleaning my house. And you're always like, there's no DQs. So you know what, dude? We're going to do a DQ for you. Because why? It's only fair.
Yeah.
So
and just to
thank
shut me
you
up, which is
for helping me, clean my house.
Yeah. Thank you for the DQ. Beautifully done. It actually then also made it make sense why they would then get a no disqualification match, because now Thunder Rosa wants to get her revenge and wants to get her revenge in kind. The same way you got your attack on me, I'm going to be able to do to you. So I actually thought it was great. I love the storyline that's going between Mercedes and Thunder.
Yes.
I thought the use of the DQ was so perfectly done. Launching into the no DQ match, Thunder gets the win. Fucking great. A little bit of a bummer. The table didn't break so hard, so it looked like they slid down it for a second. I was like, wee! But apart from the table being difficult to work with, it was really good. I liked all of it.
Yeah. Yes. And I will say this. Jamie Hayter, man, they need her to wrestle more. Love Jamie Hayter.
She's good.
I mean, she is fantastic. When she was on the cruise, I think that's probably the first time I've ever seen Jamie Hayter really wrestle. I was so impressed. I was like, this fucking bitch is badass.
Before she got signed, she did a couple spots there too, and she had really stiff strikes, and she looked like real fucking good. And I remember just being like, holy shit, she's a badass. Yep. And then she left, COVID, all this stuff. And when she came back, I was excited because I thought this division needs some hard hitters. This is good.
They do. I want to see her and Deeb really badly.
Spring Fox wants to see her and Martinez.
Mm-hmm. Yep, her and Martinez is going to be fire. Honestly, I think that I'm not jazzed about that new chick they picked up, Aqua or whatever the fuck her name is.
AQA, yeah.
Oh yeah, whatever. I don't know, but I'm like, she wasn't that great. I thought. I don't know why. It's just I think it was. We know why you signed you. It's this month, and Tony needs to practice diversity, because I think that was some bullshit thing that I remember reading today, that Tony said that he wants to keep up with the diversity of their product. If you want diversity in your product, why don't you start with something very, very simple and have not the same wrestlers wrestle all the time? That's simple diversity. 101. Then move on to something more advanced. Y'all ain't doing that. So if you can't do the basics, just
Spin Fox also said, did you see the Black Ref? Did they even announce his name?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying that close attention to AEW. I was watching it, but I was trying not to watch the refs and stuff.
I was like, what is this now? There's diversity. You're bringing in a black ref now. I mean, sorry, I don't mean this to come out the way I'm saying it, but Tony Khan, what the hell? But
it takes steps, and at least he's doing something, and hopefully it pans out and evens out, but it doesn't look so forced.
But that I will say that guy, decent ref, considering pretty decent considering. I don't know. It needs your review, but I'm curious to see what you think of it.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Speaking of refs, real quick, just quick plug for Chat Grapple and Sheep Pops. They had Marty Elias on their show last week, and I listened to it. It was a long form, 2-hour long interview. Pretty cool, dude. And that guy, Marty Elias, held absolutely no punches. He was talking mad shit on everybody, and it was pretty fucking fun to hear. So shout out to Chat Grapple and Sheep Pops for interviewing a ref. I always appreciate a good ref interview.
Awesome.
Twitter Fox does say, and then I want to go back to a whole other topic. Amanda Joey rumor is he is done with AEW. That'd be another big fucking dumb mistake. Do you know about this Joey Janella being done with AEW?
Well, today he tweeted out a tweet about Lee Moriarty. Speaking of Lee Moriarty. And he was saying, he's glad that he was able to get his last match at AEW with Lee a couple weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So without asking, I think that speaks volumes. Janella does not say anything that to get a rise out of people like that. He doesn't, he's pretty, straight from the hip. And I believe that it's done. I know he did want to stay. He did. That's Tony Khan's loss. Because basically right now, the working relationship that you will have with a GCW, because some of these guys do wrestle for GCW, is going to be very, very interesting. because
Yeah.
because
It's also
Janella,
crazy.
Yeah.
Janella's big on GCW, but it's also
He's-
crazy to
he's
think
a-
about how AEW started. They started with guys like Janella and Peter Avalon, obviously
Mhm.
Cody. Like they started with these guys to prove a point, the Marco Stunts, to prove a point that this is a place where guys like that can go who wouldn't work in other promotions, who could never be on NXT, they said, or could never be in WWE. Here was a place where those guys can go and thrive, and they don't get renewed and they didn't get used, and it's just kind of a bummer because you go, oh, it's that they launched their entire platform off of these guys' names, that this is the kind of place we're going to be, and
Yeah.
it's so shifted, you know.
Oh yeah, and I also think that actually, no, I think I was watching All In the other night because I couldn't sleep, and the Janela match with Hangman, and one of the things Excalibur had said is, this is the guy that they all want around because he's so creative and he's got a good mind for talent, eye for talent. He remarked on that there. And that's why they really wanted him, is because of that.
Yeah.
Has he had impact like that? I don't know. That'd be a very good question to ask Joey. Like, there's so many questions that I would love to ask Joey that I think that people probably would want to know, because there's some things, it's not like dirt or anything. It's just, we all know that, he's made some of these guys like from something, that weren't anything into something that's pretty awesome. I mean, because honestly, I contribute really, like, people like Effie. The rise of Effie comes from GCW, because I didn't know who he was before.
Oh yeah, GCW was huge for Effie.
And and some of the other people that they've had, like the one guy, the quadriplegic wrestler, God, I cannot remember his name. He got injured. God, what was his name? Bless his heart. I'll remember, whatever. But Dustin Thomas is his name. He was a guy that you just thought was in the crowd. And it was during a spring break that all of a sudden this guy was like, yeah, I'll wrestle you, because he's like, I'll wrestle anybody. Janelle was just like, whatever. And, I didn't know it was a work. But when he came out, it was just amazing. And then, of course, Marco and all of these guys, like, he resurrected, a lot of people's careers. So, it's very interesting. And it's interesting to me that Janella did the way he was by AEW. Yeah. Because
I'll say this, if you want, you can reach out to Joey Janela and see if he wants to come on here, and you can do a long form. The way I did with Stackhouse, I'll be the second. I'll just sit back and have a couple questions here and there, and you can have a long thing. We can even pre-record it and not go live, and if he doesn't want us to release it, he doesn't have to, but we can
I'll
see if he wants to. See if he wants to, because tell him there's a lot of stuff you want to ask him about that you think people would like to know.
Hell
yeah.
I'd be super happy to be there. I'll get questions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We can hang out and just have a good time, have a couple of drinks. Not about who you're drinking with. What? Wait, it's about who you're drinking with, not who you're drinking? I don't know how it goes. Wait. It's only episode 1.
That sounds weird.
Yeah. So yeah, reach out to him, see if he wants to, and like I said before, anytime he wants to, we'll make it work. We can pre-record even. So Spin Fox says, we are Joey Marks. We love Joey here on episode 1. Hell yeah. He's talking about Jungle Boy, Nick Wayne. I don't want us to get too far out of the weeds here. I do want to mention, because we were talking about a little bit before, Control Your Narrative is building its own promotion. EC3 and Braun Strowman, plus other wrestlers who are going to be partially involved. They said TV is imminent. What do you think about EC3 sucking the lifeblood out of Braun Strowman, taking his money and doing what he wants with it? This is like the most Andrew Chase fucking thing I've ever seen, where it's like Andrew Chase in real life, where Braun Strowman's confused and bewildered. He was never a wrestler. He was brought into this wrestling world, made a shitload of money, is left out there, and EC3's all like, I got an idea.
You mean Adam? He doesn't like to be called Braun anymore.
Nah, I don't care.
Well, I know, but he yelled at a little child. Come on.
Really?
Yeah, did I not tell you that? My friend was at a show, and this kid was like, "Oh my God, Braun, I love you," and he goes, "I'm not Braun, I'm Adam." And the kid was like, "Oh, but Braun," he's like, "I'm not Braun, I'm Adam," right? And the kid he finally just was like, kid, my name is not Braun. Braun is dead, pretty much. I'm Adam. I was like, it's a little kid, maybe between the ages of 5 and 8 years old.
It's tough.
You know, that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah,
that's
bummer. Spin Fox says, "What an asshole." It's
yeah, well, you know.
Yo, so what do you think about this? A promotion. I also wonder if their TV deal is going to be Fight TV, where anyone can basically put a fucking program up there.
Or YouTube TV. I mean, who knows? It could be on Twitch, and you know what? Right. Who knows? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know this was going on until you told me about it. To be honest.
You didn't know?
No.
Let me read you the thing then. Let me pull it up real quick here. Because they made an announcement about it.
Maybe because it's EC3 and I really don't care.
Yep. I don't think anybody does. What were you about to say, Klump?
That was kind of, it's EC3. Nobody really cares.
Yeah, somebody else said this finna be like, you know that word, finna? How are you supposed to say it?
Finna.
This finna be like MAGA meets Lucha Underground, it says.
Oh, geez.
But, so EC3 posted, EC3, Adam Shearer to launch new wrestling company. TV deal announcement imminent. CYN live, Orlando, Florida, Dallas, Texas, TV special. Bio for tickets and info. Goes, now that I have your attention, here's the truth. EC3. Let's see, TV deal imminent. It's called CYN. Control your narrative. EC3, Adam Shearer set to launch new wrestling company. CYN live events first two. The Control Your Narrative concept has manifested itself from an idea to a movement to a live touring televised wrestling company. We collectively as wrestlers can no longer wait. We cannot wait on companies that answer only to shareholders. Companies where billionaires collect talent as, quote, toys. Companies that fire their entire roster for the mistakes their office made. Companies that are complacent in presentation. All talent featured in CYN have asked to be a part of the project. These competitors range from known to unknown and include names like Matt Cardona, Moose, John Schuyler, Matt Seidel, Marina Shafir, Weston Blake, Matt Tavern, and more. On 3/31, CYN Dallas, the much-anticipated debut of Killer Cross takes place.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, yeah. The one thing missing for CYN to, quote, become who they are supposed to be was a proper platform and network distribution that has been achieved. ControlYourNarrative.co. It says the Control Your Narrative concepts manifests companies goes change. The world is changing. Oh my God, that's stupid. One of these former Braun Strowman, Adam Shearer. This is a quote he pulled from Adam Shearer. I was so impressed with what CYN was creating that I told EC3 and JC how much it inspired, how I would like to create with them one day. The next day I was released, things happened for a reason. Let's see. At CYN, there is no corporate hierarchy. There are no investors wanting to use the sport just for profit. There are no contracts, agendas. There is only passion to create. This company will be bigger than one person. I promise my undying effort to create a platform for wrestlers to do what they love, freedom they crave, for fans to have unforgettable live experience with engaging TV and presentation. CYN is my purpose. There was one other line I was looking for. What was started as a self-produced concept focused on character development, wrestling through a, quote, cinematic lens. CYN content was created by EC3 and his partner, Jediah Kozlowski, in April of 2020. So, yeah. That's what they're doing. Thunder Fox says public access TV deal. Very possible.
Could be.
What do you think about this? It sounds to me like EC3 was waiting to get Braun Strowman's money.
Yeah, because Matt David don't got money.
Oh, yeah. And the Control Your Narrative thing was real fucking flip-floppy, weird, flat kind of a thing. And then all of a sudden Braun Strowman comes on. Adam Shearer joins the thing. They come up with a couple videos, and suddenly they have money for their own promotion. That feels like he found a way to get Adam to invest. And
How corny is that?
It's.
Well, at least he didn't do GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, bless his heart, but what an idiot.
And hey, let EC3 do it all and make it all, because he's burned that bridge. Braun's been pretty kind of, I mean, other than saying Braun's dead, but Adam's been pretty quiet about, like, I have a feeling like the moment he got told, hey, do you want to reappear? Dope. I'm
Yeah.
back. Which, all the power to him. Hell yeah.
You imagine he goes, dope, I'm back, and he goes, well, here's the thing is I don't have a ring and you're going to have to buy it for me. Oh, okay. That sounds normal.
Yeah.
Just call up
Go
high
for it.
spots over here and get a ring,
Yeah.
But Cardona,
I think that's Cardona being smart and not Cardona trying to latch himself onto CYN. Cardona, I think, is marketing himself to literally every promotion he can and carry his titles to those places because he's making money doing that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? He's going to come out with some sort of campy, weird, control your narrative Matt Cardona shirt, and it's going to do great. And it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Matt Cardona saying, I need to be part of this project. It's Matt Cardona seeing the potential to make money while these guys do this weird thing on the side.
Yeah, and then
100%.
there's like weird people like Moose.
Yeah.
I mean,
The list of people are people who are problematic that are having a hard time getting booked.
Yeah.
that's not true.
The unvaccinated and the hard to work with is the list I read.
But the ones that are like blacklisted aren't on there yet. I'm surprised.
They'll get there. They will get there. You're going to see Jackson Riker there in about a week.
Well, you see, Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan will pop up. He'll control his narrative. Spinner Fox
Do
says
not
Cardona
say-
wants to be everywhere. That's my point exactly.
Do not say Marty. Marty's too good for that shit.
I think I agree. I think when Marty comes back, it'll be something less obviously awkward and weird.
No. And everybody, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it again. Just let him do what he asks. Just let him be, okay? Sorry. Wrestling's boring without like people
A villain.
A villain, that too. I'm waiting for Aleister Black to have a card that's, the tarot card that's kind of like death, and have the like doctor, and then
the plague.
shit is done. It is done. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Spin Fox says Cardona and Myers are teaming up to face the Hardys. They're also teaming up to face Janella and X-Pac. Cardona grinding. He don't want to wrestle in his 50s. Yeah, he's doing just some cool shit. Cardona more than anyone is proving he's doing what I think he's doing what Cody did when he left, but like at a faster rate.
He's living the dream.
He's just fucking doing it, man. I love
Hey,
it.
Dude's in the prime of his career. Do whatever the hell he can, and he's showing it. Dude's a fantastic worker.
Ref shirt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Motherfucker can promote.
Yeah, he is. I will say this. I
agree with you, Klump.
Yeah, I always thought he had such potential. Man, when he did his own fucking YouTube shit, that's what sold me. I was like, this guy is basically like, if you're not going to make me a star, I'll make my own star.
Okay.
And that's pretty fucking awesome,
Yep. I will say someone made a shitty comment that I was like going to disagree with, but then also thought it's hard to disagree with. Because someone said, like, you got to up your stock like the way Matt Cardona has. And the guy's like, how? He went from big internet star to big internet star. And I was all like, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So mad.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, man, but,
But it feels bigger. I don't know.
Yeah.
Spin Fox does say Cardona's a fucking beast. He's getting paid like the Young Bucks did. He don't need a machine to back him. He's a fucking machine. Yeah, 100%. He also has a question for you, Amanda.
Yes.
Flip video where Marty showed up as a ghost. He goes, "What the fuck is going on with Flip?"
It's very weird. I thought Flip would be showing up in AEW anytime soon. I don't think he's holding out for ROH because he's doing fine, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I really do think that Flip is well, next time I know I'm going to see Flip is June because he's doing some taco and margarita festival in San Jose, and he's teaming with Brian Cage.
That's hard to miss.
That's hard to miss. No, but you know,
There's a lot to sell there.
got to sell there. Hey, I'm going in with my Flip gear. No, I'm not gonna lie, you know.
Yep.
But I think with Flip, there has been talk about WWE. They have shown interest in him, I know,
Interesting.
in the lulls in the background. So who knows? But again, when you watch Flip now, he's kind of in his own way, like all the flippy floppy dudes, sort of kind of getting away from a lot of it.
Yeah.
Because prolonged career. I mean, he's still really young too. So,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping that he comes around. I was really hoping we'd see Marty and Flip take AEW, but you know,
Yeah.
that's just me.
Well.
I'd buy the shirt right away.
And if not, then we can get Flip on CYN.
Yeah, with his weird conspiracy theories. Yeah, that.
Yeah, it could work.
Yeah, it could work. Could work. Could work. You know, does he really believe in a lot of this stuff? Yes and
That's a good question.
yes and no. I've actually asked him before. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah?
"Come on, flat Earth." And he goes, "It's funny." And I go, "Yeah, I know." But he's also Flip's very dingy. It's like if you ever like really get to talk to him, and like I've been lucky over the years to like before he got really big to get to know Flip. He's dingy. I get it. You know.
I will say that I watched a couple of Flat Earth documentaries and some YouTube stuff and read an article or two because I did find it absolutely fascinating.
It is
the way they twisted science the way they did.
Yeah.
But after a while, I had to stop consuming it because it got to the point where I'm all like, do you hear yourself?
Yeah, you're believing this shit. Yeah,
It's
no.
when you watch modern new Illuminati stuff. Yeah, like it's interesting to watch it for a while, but you're like, what is this shit? What it's fascinating and hilarious. Like when it's somebody like this is how you know the Illuminati's is in Hollywood. And they're like going over just a random movie poster, and it's like, well, this number there corresponds to. If you add this up, this is the number the original Illuminati was telling you. Like, okay, homie.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You go,
Well, you know
"Oh,
who was Illuminati in the wrestling industry?
DDP?
No.
Oh.
Harry Smith Jr.
Oh.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, I could see
Explains a
that.
lot. Yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about on AEW, or you want to talk some NXT?
Only thing I want to say is this has been probably this AEW post Cody was very interesting how he and Brandy were really taken out of things really quickly. One
Yeah.
and two. This was probably one of the better AEWs in a long time.
Yeah. I actually really enjoyed this episode of Dynamite for the most part.
I know, because when Marsh, I was like, Marsh, you really need to watch it. He's like, damn it.
Eh.
Yeah. I know Marsh really didn't want to watch it.
Yeah,
But
I didn't want
I
to.
mean,
But
it's
it was
almost
solid.
like
Some stuff
Yeah.
was dragging. Not every match hit for me, but overall,
it was pretty
solid to watch the
Creepy.
whole thing.
creepy CM Punk promo. Kind of creepy.
It's fine.
But also, I got worked because I thought he was the box. I didn't realize the dog chain was in there. I thought he was reading off an iPad. I was like, dude, really? You're horrible.
You're reading your promo.
Fucking idiot. God damn. You're not the best in the world. You're a fucking hoax.
Klump knew exactly what it was because he's seen a lot of dog collars in boxes.
Yeah.
So Klump right away.
Well, I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, like, homie. No. Don't need to see any more of that shit. Just chill your asses out.
Yeah. He's like, come on, man. You gotta bring that out. Serena Fox says, how about Marty comes in AEW and cost Hangman the title, Adam Cole? That could be fine. Could be good.
That could be fine
Dude,
too. But
They
remember,
gotta figure out a fucking way to get their spray tan in order. MJF looked real fucking bad.
okay, Marsh and I talked about this. There is a tanner that the Young Bucks and a lot of these wrestlers, I can name them all, swear by, sold at Sally Beauty Supply. They don't understand that it's orange.
Yeah.
Okay? When you're white like that, it makes you
Mhm.
orange. Even
Yeah.
Ricky was spraying that. And I was like, dude, when you have a tan, it looks good because, that's part of your, little background. It looks good. When you use this orange spray tan bullshit, like Sammy Guevara and stuff, no. The Miz used to do it. Now I think he's smartened up. But it's gross
Yeah.
when you see it staining your gear. You
Yes.
see it on other people you're wrestling because it's
Oh, yeah.
transferred. It's disgusting. It's gross.
It's
So
awful.
it's
I need
from
to spray tan myself to see what happens.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah.
you'd be the color of the background here.
No,
If
I'll
I'm
help
down.
you. I'll spray
Yeah.
you. We'll do it. We'll make a video out of it. We'll make a TikTok.
We'll do one half.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Spinner Fox says, I think MJF does that shit on purpose. I don't. Dude, here's the thing: is
no,
like,
he was
because they didn't draw
brown.
enough attention to it, but he was like, he was a fucking brown. He was like real brown, and it was like
He looked
really
more of a
uncomfortable.
brother. He looked more than a brother than Ricky Starks
Yeah, it was
on Wednesday.
awkward.
That was sad. That was very awkward. I'm like, when did homie MJF become MJF in the hood?
Yeah,
Because-
it was fucking weird.
Dude, he
They
was
gotta do
like,
something about
he was like getting, he was like, it was bad. It was bad.
that. It's bad.
Go back and look. It was
Yeah.
pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Anything else from AEW?
Nope.
All right. I just want to say, what?
Dustin.
I was gonna read that. Dustin Rhodes just tweeted out like a little less than an hour ago, which again feels like because Tony Khan begs these guys to post on Twitter on his behalf when things are bad, right?
Sure does.
And we know this. We know this for a fact. And
He gives
Dustin
them a-
Rhodes tweeted out, "Join the @AEW train, kids. We are ever growing and making big moves. Plus, you get to see me as well as so many up and coming superstars that are coming into their own. Everything is a process. Let me hear ya. #I'm with AEW." First off, why are you
Ouch.
saying up and coming superstars? That's a WWE term, I thought. I thought you were anti-WWE. But either way.
Who's the person who
this
does every
feels like a text from Tony that became a tweet. I'm with
Yeah.
AEW.
Who else? has
They've been saying that
retweeted
since the
it?
beginning.
Who else
What was
has
that?
said this? Who else has said this now?
That's the other thing. We got to see how many other people are tweeting this. Someone should do a search for Dustin Rhodes' tweet to see how many other people are tweeting almost the same thing.
I'll do it right now.
But let's
I
talk
bet-
NXT. Because there's a few things in there I definitely want to talk about. NXT. Klump, you watched NXT this week, yeah?
Pretty much, yeah. I got up through. Yeah, I got pretty much through it. It was
Most of it.
pretty decent. Yeah. Yeah.
I was happy with, to be honest, in Tuesday days, NXT was better than most of the NXTs have been in a while, and Dynamite was better than most of the Dynamites have been in a while. It was a good week.
Yeah.
To feel good
What's
about
up with
stuff.
that? What's
Yeah,
up with
something's
that?
wrong. Something's wrong. Something's going to happen to somebody.
Mhm.
Klump, what'd you think of it opened up with a cage match, right? Pete Dunne, Tony D'Angelo?
Yeah. Pretty cool that I like Pete Dunne winning. Fucking hate Tony D'Angelo. Still hate Tony D'Angelo. Passionately hate Tony D'Angelo.
Do you really hate Tony D'Angelo?
Fucking so much.
Okay.
Just literally the worst. But I like the match. I mean, I liked the stomp spot with the toolbox. I thought that was great. I was like, that's evil and great.
Yeah. They work really well together. For me, one of the big highlights, well, I guess I had a couple. There was one that was an Amanda highlight that I really enjoyed. Wendy Chu trying to find a tag partner.
Oh yeah.
Amanda, tell me what you thought about this, because I actually really enjoyed her performance here. The way that she was like, it's fine, it's good. And as soon as she turns around, she's all, like she was doing this whole thing. Like,
I love it. Okay, Wendy Chu. All right. That's why I love Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu is me. She'll like go with the flow and then whatever, because she knows these bitches. Right.
Yeah.
And it was really cool that we get to see the side of her. And
Yes.
then all of a sudden she's there and she sees Dakota. Now I don't know what's going on with Dakota. If someone can tell me what the hell's going on,
yeah.
I don't get it. I feel really
Dakota's
bad for
a
Dakota. Yeah, I really feel bad for her. But it was really cool to see with Wendy Chu how, unlike most of the women's characters, she's very dimensional. Even though, yes, it's partially a comedy gimmick, she's very, very dimensional in solidifying who she is in the space that she's in and what she's working with. So for me, God bless her, I love her to death. And I really think that at first I was like, they really needed a departure because all the Tian Sha shit. Because we knew that was Karen Q underneath, but when that didn't come into fruition, we thought it was Karen Q. What are you going to do with it? Because you can't, bring it back. Boa, it was kind of weird that's still kind of there. But Wendy Chu, for me, it was like that departure, total 180, and it is incredible. And most of the time, I think women do not get with character and things like that. It's very generic and bland. This one has a lot of really cool things to come along with it. So if you think that it's a weird gimmick, you need to watch it again and really kind of look at it because it's pretty cool the way it's being crafted. I don't know how much input she has creatively, but I think she has some to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's pretty awesome the way she's even taken some of the wrestling moves and modified it into that laziness.
Yes. I've been actually really impressed with the character development of Wendy Chu over the past couple weeks. She's become a multidimensional and she's become quite a character that makes sense in an environment where she didn't have to make sense.
Yeah.
So and
I was
also watching an interview with Alexander Wolf. He now goes by Axel Tischner, where he was talking about. Oh, and even Alex Zane talked about it too. They both were talking about how much of what they did was worked through by both sides. Alex Zane was saying that like you present stuff to creative and they tweak it, like that a lot of the stuff and everybody's name comes from themselves. That no one's very rarely is someone given a name. You know what I mean? Like the amount of times people complain about what people are doing, especially in NXT, you're complaining about what also the talent has come up with. Like it's just kind of weird. Like you're trying to support the talent and inadvertently shitting on them. But I think Wendy's bringing a lot to the table there, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, and it's not. This is a female Orange Cassidy, because at first when you think about it and you look at it, you're like, I can kind of see. But no, there are sides to Wendy Chu that you don't see with Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
All you see is this dude, whatever. That's all you see. You don't see different sides of his personality. He doesn't have sides to his personality. He gets angry, but you don't get angry. Yeah. But you don't get to see the development, and I think that's pretty cool. And especially to have a woman, like everyone's like, whoa, women's wrestling, Yeah, it's because when you see this kind of stuff develop, that's what makes it good and interesting. Yeah. Remember, he is long-term storytelling and being able to develop a character. I think that's what makes things enjoyable to watch. That's why I like Cameron Grimes, LA Knight.
Yes.
These are people that I'm getting invested in because of that development of their character. But we'll talk more about LA Knight and Cameron Grimes when we go along. But Wendy Chu, gotta love her.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Can't wait to meet her. I want to meet her so bad. I think we're coming to Wendy. She's fucking cool. I'll sip on my water.
Yeah. Klump, how are you feeling about Wendy Chu?
So I was having the audio off. I didn't really get to see a lot of it. I was just kind of wondering about the tag thing. I was like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of like, this is cool. I need to invest more.
Yeah, I was really hesitant to like her for a while, and she's really grown on me in a lot of ways. Sprinter Fox has a final Joey thing. He said Joey just tweeted, and the beat goes on. These throwbacks are back. Joey Janella tweeted the Macho Man Bad Boy shirts are back. GCW. He also tweeted Teddy Turner's premium, perfectly marbled imported Wagyu steak, which is kind of funny. But yeah, let's see. The other thing that happened on NXT, I was really stoked for. Before the LA Knight thing, one other thing.
I just want to comment.
Go ahead.
Comment on the Joey Janela shirts.
Yeah.
If Splinter Fox, you see him say again that he's bringing it out again, even though I have one. The one that's the faux Las Vegas. Sorry, see, not letting that go. The faux Raiders shirt with the logo as him as the bad boy with the patch. I want another one of those. That or the Marlboro shirt. I can't find mine. So just, I have the White Claw one. That one's blinged. But
the idea that we're gonna get Solo Sikoa versus Gunther is so fucking cool to me.
Oh my God.
Like, and I liked how much Gunther was yelling at the announcer and at the audience that how to pronounce his name and that it's his name and that's what he's going by. I like that Solo came out and said, I don't care what you're calling yourself. Like, the idea that he's going by a new name is part of his story. It's part of his character. It's part of the whole thing, which I think is important and relevant. And I think that fans who shit on it are just not paying attention and like disrespectful, if I'm being honest. But Solo and Gunther, that's gonna be fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
That feels like a Josh Barnett produced match. You know what I mean?
No shit. Yeah, that's like Bloodsport, like
Yeah.
Bloodsport 9. You know, in the future.
Was
Can we
9
talk
a German joke? 9.
Maybe.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I was very impressed with Gunther and his mic skills.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
I was floored. I was like, oh my God, where's this been? Like it was like, that's a ring general, and that's what a ring general should sound like, you know?
Klump, did you
I
get
don't
a chance to hear the promo, or were you just kind of seeing it?
Seeing it, but it looked really cool.
Yeah, dude, he's a badass. He sounds so good, so clean on there. Like, I remember how we were like, why is he going to NXT and not just the main roster? I wonder if this is why, so they could give him this little bit of fine tuning and prove he's got it on the mic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's in better shape than he's ever been in. He's looking better, and he's got it on the mic. I think that honestly, after this Solo match, I don't know if he stays in NXT for another month or two even before they move him. You know what I mean? Like,
he's ready to go.
Polished. So I'm excited about that.
Oh,
go ahead.
FYI, real quick, nobody yet has been retweeting Dustin. So I think because it's Thursday, usually most of them it's a travel day, you'll start seeing it later this evening or tomorrow.
Okay. What was it? The main event. I want to talk this. I think the thing that stood out to me more than anything on NXT, because there was all a bunch of good stuff. Klump, you had some stuff you want to say about Braun Breaker?
Yeah, I'm sold on Braun Breaker. He's
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what I
he's
said too.
Yeah.
Mhm. He's beyond ready.
Yeah. Now the thing that was to me the biggest standout was LA Knight. LA Knight came out. He had a segment with Grayson Waller, and LA Knight had the crowd in the palm of his hand. They were so loud for him. I don't know if you caught it, Klump, if you had the sound down while he was cutting his promo. At one point in his promo, he goes, I'll let the people spell it out for you. And he does the point, the LA Knight point, and the whole crowd, LA Knight. Like, they did it. They did it like they were screaming at the top of their lungs. I couldn't believe, like, when you think about how he came into the company and everyone was booing him when he was supposed to be a babyface and we were all confused.
Yeah.
The way that he was able to ride their hate into a wave of heel against Cameron Grimes and then ride that heat all the way up until he got them to, and the whole time, when you kind of look back on it, he was training the audience. This is how you chant for me. This is how you say my yeah. You do my
No,
LA
but they're
Knight.
still not doing the yeah right.
They're not doing it right, but they're trying.
They're trying. They're trying. Yeah. One day it'll be there. And it'll be the most perfect thing.
It's going to be amazing. He has won that crowd over big time. And I was so impressed. I was like, look, I knew he was amazing. And we've been mad that the crowd wasn't on board at the beginning. But to watch him take that crowd the way he did in such a short period of time, it was something else. Klump, were you able to hear it or you watched it?
Watched it.
All right.
Sorry, Omi.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm telling you, I've not seen the crowd be that loud for somebody on their own given little gimmick thing. And it was incredible. It was what we've been wanting from him. So I also thought that the NXT crowd was going to ruin his career. I was like, they're not going to get on board. They're going to be anti-LA Knight. Whatever he wants, they're going to do the opposite thing just to shit on him. They're going to make Vince think that nobody likes him and he can't win a crowd. And he was like, nah.
No. I'm waiting for the whole shoes of a champion shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting. Give him a belt so I can hear this. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing.
it
But
is. Yeah.
those are my highlights on it.
Yeah.
Anything in NXT you want to talk about?
Cameron Grimes, man.
Yeah, Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah. That was a beautiful match.
Yeah.
Sad that, Grimes could win, but, honestly, when you watched his performance in that, there is no way that you cannot tell me he's got a bright future over at WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I also was kind of shocked that he was hairless. I was like, what the hell?
Be done.
That's not the Trevor Lee
Yeah.
Grimes I know. It was a little weird at first, but the match I thought was wonderful. I mean, I was expecting it to be good, but I was not expecting it to be that good.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I was underwhelmed though with the Dusty Classic match.
It was fun, but yeah, I just
MSK is awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm not really in, I don't know. There's just something about the Creed brothers that I just don't know. They're not on that level yet because of some of the other tag teams that are in NXT right now. They're not at that level. They're not at the Legado, Delphine Tesla level. They're not at, Grizzled Young. They're not at that level.
No, but this can help them get there. Go ahead, Klump. What are you gonna say?
It will,
Well,
but I don't know.
I think that's it exactly. Like it's not, they're not there, but that's what the Dusty Cup is we're gonna get you there.
And I believe the Creed brothers are former Olympic trained wrestlers as well. I believe they trained with like Chad and Otis back in the day.
Really? Oh, wow.
So I think that they're like real legit. I wish that their gear didn't look stupid. And I don't like the way they come out in their t-shirts with their gear underneath it, and it looks like they're wearing like underoos, and it's real weird. It's like just take the shirt off early or whatever. But yeah, I think it's like Klump said. This is going to help propel them, and yeah, I think they're a legit force that just hasn't been presented quite at that level that they can get and that they can be at. Producer lady's thrilled that Pete Dunne won that match with Tony D'Angelo. She was freaking out.
Duh, he should have.
Yeah.
If Tony D'Angelo went over, I'd be very upset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Tony D'Angelo just bothers me in a way. And not in a good way.
All right.
Yeah.
Anything else in NXT you guys wanted to hit on?
No, I'm good on my end.
Yeah, I just really wanted to put over LA Knight, to be honest. What do you got, Amanda?
LA Knight was great. I really can't wait to see what is going to be happening with the women's Dusty Cup.
Yes.
That's going to be
Cora Jade thing was really fun.
That was great. Aew and
Kaylee Ray was really fun.
Yeah, that was very fun. And then of course, obviously, if Dakota is going to team with Wendy. Yeah. But I still and if someone can please tell me what the fuck is going on with Dakota Kai and what this is supposed to be, let me know. Because I feel like I missed something.
Yeah, me too. I'm not on board with it, and I've missed it entirely. I've seen a lot of people on internet be like, "She's amazing. Look how perfectly she's doing this thing." And I was like, "Doing what thing?" Like,
thing. I don't understand.
Yeah.
She's got glasses on and headphones. That's all I know.
She's a weirdo.
It's weird. I don't get it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. The Women's Dusty Classic's going to be pretty cool, I think.
I think Evolution's going to be good too. AW. It's shaping up. Interesting. Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. We'll get a bunch of WWE guys in there. Just kidding.
Well,
I just like that people still say that all the time. It's funny to me.
It is. It's true. Like, WWE pay-per-view light.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for it. No.
Yeah.
You got to give me a reason why I need for it. There is no reason.
Yeah. I was surprised that, like, we're not going to really get into the numbers, but I was surprised that after Cody leaving, I would have thought that the ratings would have been up, and they were significantly down because I thought people would tune in out of interest. But
nope.
There was a lot less viewers this week than last week and the week before and the week before. It was a huge drop, which I just thought was weird. I would have thought the other thing would have happened. So I was kind of surprised and and I was kind of disappointed. I was like, what a shame, because this has been one of the best Dynamites in a long, long time, and not as many people watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very
It's a bummer.
interesting. But it makes you think, does Cody really have that kind of pull where his fans are like, you know what, he's gone. I don't need to watch it. That's what
I wondered that too. I would be surprised if that were true, but maybe we see that is the truth. Because I didn't think that was the case, but it might be.
Who knows? Who knows? So I have
knows?
hot announcements real quick.
Hmm.
It has nothing to do with this, but if you people are interested and in the San Francisco Bay Area, April 10th is the debut of GCW in San Francisco.
Nice.
Noro Suzuki, Murder Grandpa, will be on that card.
Yeah.
He is also the next week on the 15th going to be on that card as well for West Coast Pro. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at noon. I suggest, because these cards are legit fire. You should go. I'm excited because now I can get a photo with Murder Grandpa without the mask on.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the fear in my face. So it'll be great. Yeah. But if it's anything like what I saw last, they're getting better and better. But I don't think anything can top that match of ACL versus Speedball Mike Bailey. So, Independent Wrestling TV, IWTV, you got to see it. It's one of those ones where it's like, if you think you've seen like one of the best matches you've ever seen before, no, I encourage you to watch this, because I don't think I've ever seen anything either in person or even a replay that was as good as this was. It was, they could have wrestled forever. And yeah, so
Nice.
nice. Sorry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Suzuki is back. He's got 5 shows announced. Dallas on the 31st of March, April 1st, Dallas, April 9th, Los Angeles, April 10th, San Francisco, April 23rd, Detroit, and then that's all he's been listed for. So we'll see what happens.
I think it'd be it. He's doing his, kind of his.
One of those is Bloodsport.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm stoked for, because one of my favorite matches he's done was him at Bloodsport with Dickinson. So, but
he's back.
Yeah.
He's coming back on in LA.
Yep.
I saw that. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Sprint Fox like to see Swerve versus Suzuki. He wants to meet Murder Grandpa. Dude, go to California. It's happening. Or Texas.
Splinter Fox, my boy, won. That's right.
That's right. Be done.
Right.
We will see. I think we'll see Swerve and Suzuki, because I have a feeling, if anything, Defy would bring that up there, because he's back at Swerve's house, even though,
gotcha.
Nick fucking Wayne, that's his house too. But
yeah,
Nick Wayne, Nick Wayne's amazing. But Nick Wayne, I will say this: it was so funny because when I was at the show last weekend, someone had said, "Hey, Will Ospreay's here." I'm like, "Fuck that guy." They go, "No." And they pointed over to Nick Wayne, and I looked at him and I'm like, yeah. I said, here's the thing with the comparison. He does look like Ospreay, yes. Mm-hmm. He also wrestles a hell of a lot. He's got more skill as far as his repertoire. Mm-hmm. So that's better than Ospreay. So that's your future right there.
Yep.
People like me.
Yep. And they gave him that contract. That was pretty cool. Mission Pro still looking for sponsors. So go to Mission Pro Res. Or at Mission Pro Res on Twitter. They're looking for sponsors. You can sponsor a wrestler. You can sponsor the show itself. Like, you can do a few things there. So check them out as well. Klump, any final thoughts?
I'm good on my end, guys.
Thanks for coming through, Klump, and having a drink with us. AmandaJayne, any final thoughts?
No, I am good to go.
Cool. We will be back next week for a brand new episode 1. Miss AmandaJayne, you're going to find out if Joey Janella wants to come shoot the shit with us, yeah?
Yep. Sure thing.
And then we'll work around his schedule. We can make it happen. I would like it if Klump could be there, but if it is what it is, we'll just have Klump write in some questions if it has to be that way. But we'll try and figure it out. Whatever his schedule is, we'll work around it. But other than that, guys, we're going to be back next week on Wednesday for a brand new episode 1 right here in the dive bar of the IWC. That's the last call, guys.
Cheers.
Hey, Producer Lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink that's less than half